All right. EJ, you ready?
Yeah, dude.
Sawyer?
Yeah, dude.
All right, man. Let's do this thing. Yes. What's up, people? We are back again. Are we live? Yeah. Can you hear me? Mic check. Oh, come on, Doss. This is ridiculous. What a great way to start the show with sunglasses on your... Never mind.
Well done.
Why? Why?
Well, look, they don't perform any purpose up here, okay? Like, yours actually perform purpose. Mine just reflect the rest of the setup at the camera. Matching shirts. We do have the matching shirts today. We absolutely have the matching shirts.
Wait, you guys are wearing it too? Oh, man.
Gosh. It's like going to the prom, except we're awesome. Let's see here.
Wait, what? all right. No, I'll let it go.
Okay, just let it slide.
That was good.
Just let it slide. All right, guys, guess what? We are, let's bring this down. We are once again live from the Intrepid Sea, Air and Space Museum in New York City for their Space and Science Festival. This microphone is way too far forward. That's why you hear me breathing. Let me fix it. There you go. One day I'll actually have a sound guy. Probably not. Anyways, we are going to do another day of streams here. We've got some missions that we need to accomplish today. We need to get our orbiter working. If you were here yesterday, we were building the space shuttle. Right behind us, as you can see, we've got an actual space shuttle, which we are using as a reference to build our space shuttle in Kerbal's space program. But today, we need to get this thing working because coming up in just about an hour, like less than an hour now, we're going to have Mike Massimino on the stream, who is a former astronaut who did multiple shuttle missions and was actually key in doing the Hubble repair missions. He's going to come on the stream a little bit, and he's going to be answering some questions about his experiences fixing the Hubble. And we're going to try, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it because we don't have a lot of time, we're going to try to get a Hubble on orbit to see if we can get it going. I don't know. We don't have a lot of time for that, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do. But like I said, we're live from the Intrepid Sea, Air and Space Museum. We're in New York City. They were having a Space and Science Festival this weekend. They have all sorts of awesome things going on here. They're having tours going. They've got everything on the pier, which is kind of like down next to the aircraft carrier. They've got a bunch of booths set up. There's like a first robotics demonstration, and there's a bunch of different, I saw a New York Astronomy Club and stuff like that down there. So on top of the museum's normal exhibits that are like all over the map, including a space shuttle and then a Soyuz over there, if I can get EJ to lean. Lean. What?
Lean over.
That's a Soyuz over EJ's shoulder there.
Other way.
Yes, drink the Dr. Pepper. In addition to the normal awesome museum exhibits that they have here all the time, they've got special things going on. So if you're in striking distance of New York City, I think everything's going to be going on until about 6
o'clock today.
6 p.m. today. So the museum is an awesome place to visit. Don't miss out if you can possibly make it over this way. If not, we're going to be streaming here for most of the day. So we'll be playing some Kerbal Space Program. We'll be talking about exhibits. We'll be talking to Mike Massimino and just having a fine old time streaming from the deck of an aircraft carrier with the space shuttle behind us.
Yeah, no big deal.
It's a thing. You know, it's not that big of a deal. Anyways, guys, I think let's just get going. And again, guys, same rules apply as always. Keep it classy in the chat. It's hard for us to keep up with chat because we're so limited for time. It's really hard to keep up. Every now and then I'll try to take a break and I'll try to get some chat. Sawyer and EJ, we've got another monitor down here in front of us, and we'll try to look at some chat there. They'll try to cut me off if I'm running my mouth too much, which is constantly. But it is a little bit more difficult for us to completely interact with the chat just because we're trying to get the things done with the interest of time. If you have a question, make sure you put the word question in there so it highlights in red. That's really the only way that you'll be able to get our attention. It is really difficult, and we got a lot of stuff going on. But thank you guys so much for being with us. Let's start playing Kerbal's Space Program.
Let's load it up.
Does that sound good?
I like this plan. I'm happy to be a part of it.
All right, so we're going to work on the space shuttle.
That's not a space shuttle.
Well, it could be.
Well, they Yeah.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Spray. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Oh, boy.
Put some spray paint on the side of the thing and maybe
Yeah,
blur your eyes a little bit. like-
Yeah. That's good.
All right, let me get back over here. And I'm going to do a launch on the shuttle that we had yesterday because we were having issues with it. It was not working for us, and we thought that it was something to do with the arrow.
Yeah.
The arrow is all over the map. We've got parts kind of clipped together to make it look to the right proportions of the shuttle because we don't just have shuttle pieces. And so let's see if we... No, not to launch.
You sure you don't want this to
If
be
I
your
have
shuttle?
to.
I
It
mean,
doesn't
hey.
want its dreams to be dreams. It's like, no.
It's
One
like,
day,
no.
I'll grow up and be a space shuttle.
Launch me, launch me, launch me.
Please, put me in, coach. I can go to orbit. The Hubble's bigger than me, but still. Let me see here. Let's see if we can load up the one we did yesterday. And then EJ actually went home last night. Well, not home, but went back away from the museum last night and did a little bit of work on the, let's see here, on the shuttle. So we'll try a couple different things, but the arrow is killing us. We want the right proportions. I can't even find it. What is
Yeah,
it?
you passed it.
I passed it.
KSA.
Shuttle
Shuttle
Kenterprise.
Kenterprise.
Okay, so this is the one we were working on yesterday. We've got the R2 from EJ. Let's review the issues we were having right quick, because we were having massive issues yesterday. So you can see we've clipped a bunch of tanks together. The proportions are good on the orange tank to the shuttle. The proportions of the SRBs, these SRBs are way too big, but we were having massive issues yesterday. We have these tanks empty. That's probably a big issue because the shuttle is placed very far down on the orange tank for a reason,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that the main engines on the shuttle can thrust through the center of mass.
Correct.
And by emptying these tanks and putting these tanks full, that's going to be a big problem because that moves our center of mass significantly lower. Should I move it right now? Should I just see if that makes a difference?
Yeah,
Or-
try it, man.
Why
Yeah,
not?
absolutely.
Let's take the fuel out of these tanks down here, and then we just know that that's going to be way too low. And we'll put the fuel back into the tanks up top. We'll do that as a first test. I want to load up EJ's shuttle. I think EJ probably spent a good amount of time on it, right?
Hours of sleep were lost.
If
Yeah.
anybody's ever seen EJ stream, you could imagine that maybe a little bit of time was put into it, which makes it awesome.
Getting to watch it is something special, that's for sure.
Was that my 3X? You know something? Those were my 3X tanks, and I think I'm just going to go with that. That tank's empty. That tank's empty. The center of mass should be a little bit higher.
I mean, yeah, you got to remember, if you're filling the tanks at the very top of the stack, it doesn't matter. You don't have to fill the ones that are closer to the shuttle. If anything,
yeah.
you're going to fill ones that are further away to stay on
balance out
that center of thrust line. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a second. We could totally fill those tanks, which are put on with the bilateral or the mirror symmetry like a space plane, because this one should be full and that one should be full, but then this one's going to be empty, and then these on this side are going to be empty as well. Just put a little bit of extra fuel in there. That's 3651. Let's just see how this goes. We're not expecting this to be successful. The part clipping and the weird aerodynamics that happens from occluded, not occluded parts, it looks like this should be very aerodynamic. KSP's occlusion doesn't really work that way.
It disagrees.
It disagrees.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're invisible. You only occlude the center of the stack, and then these guys get full drag. Let's give this a launch, and let's see how this goes. Staging's all good. You know something? It's not rocket science. It actually says that on the back of our shirt.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not rocket science. That's why our shuttle doesn't work. So.
It is. It's just not the right type of rocket science.
And I think one of the big issues that we're fighting against here, and I'm actually becoming a convert here, the real SRBs on the actual shuttle have gimbals.
Yeah, they do.
Yep.
And we don't have that in KSP.
No, we don't.
And what do they use the gimbals for? I'm going to do a launch. Explain why there's gimbals on the SRBs in the real world.
Well, I mean, on top of just straight up attitude control, the gimbals are used for they're used for the roll program for the shuttle,
Right.
amongst other things. It's overall stabilization because I mean, having a dumb booster or a dumb, something that just is like, okay, let's light the candle and go,
Right.
isn't very sophisticated. I mean, and solids aren't that sophisticated by any means themselves, but I mean, having a gimbal on there is huge because.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure everybody's had a scenario where their craft is spinning out of control and you hit the mainsail that's attached to the back of your craft and it'll actually start moving it because the mainsail has a lot of power and a lot of gimbal behind it. So ideally, you want whatever's doing your primary lifting to have more gimbal so you have better control over it. This is not that.
Not that. Just missing. I mean, we've got a big lever arm. If we had gimbals down there and we had a lever arm acting against the center of mass, we'd be able to do the roll program more controlled. We'd be able to actually angle the thrust to get us a little bit. I mean,
the biggest thing to overcome is the space shuttle's mains not having the gimbal. The SRB gimbal is manageable. You can fix that. I mean, there are ways to get around it. If the Skipper had a gimbal range of like 8. If it had a gimbal range of 8, like the Radio Rockomax engine, like the Thud, then shuttles would be a ton easier to make.
Almost like our parts are like underscaled. Like the Thud would never work on the.
No, it's not enough.
Yeah, it's not a shuttle main engine.
If all I need is a Skipper that has 8 degrees of gimbal, and we'll make any shuttle fly. But you know, we don't have that gimbal range. I think the vector range on the Skipper right now is 2 degrees or something.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 degrees.
Yeah, it's not something that's too. I mean, it's something. It does help, but I mean, there are other ways you have to overcome the lack of gimbal that you have with the shuttle main engines, especially if you're using Skippers or mainsails. Mainsails only have 2 as well.
Scanning viewer.
And we just got Convio drafted as well. Did y'all hear the audio for that draft there, guys, or was that doubled? Let me know in chat. I was while AJ was talking, I was looking at audio issues as well. So long story short, we don't have gimbals on our SRBs. That gives us less control authority over the shuttle.
Correct.
It makes the entire thing, on top of the wacky arrow, makes the entire thing very difficult to do in KSP and get it to shuttle kind of scale model size here and everything else. So
I mean, the reason I couldn't get it working was because I was trying to make a shuttle that gets up there with solids.
Right.
And I was just, I mean, I had to, I mean, we'll look at it a little later, I think, but it's really tough to do because, I mean, with KSP, the drag seems to just be, it's like at certain points, if you're going at a certain velocity, it's like you're flying through jello.
Yeah. Oh, brother. Guys, I just made one more change. Did you hear the draft that time? We couldn't hear the draft that time, but did it play that last draft here? I'll do it one more time. We're working with some weirdness here. We don't get to hear that, but did you guys hear that when we just drafted Element Ninja? Let us know. I doubt or I don't know what's going to happen here, but let's just launch the shuttle, and we're working through some sort of weirdness with the configuration as well. So just let us know. Let's see here. Too loud, too loud, too loud. Just telling me it's not fixed doesn't help me. Yes, it played it all 3 times. Turn it down some, it's good, it's fixed. Yeah, you heard it. Oh, shucks. All right. Well, I think that is what it is. We may not have game sound here, so we may have to do something about that. We'll have to see.
Well, we're about to find out.
Yeah.
We'll just throttle up, panel lock, SAS engage. I know we're not going to hear the sound here. We've got Wheatley on. We've got the Space Corps. Or not the Space Corps, we've got Wheatley on.
Yeah.
Let's see what we get from this. 3, 2, 1.
Space.
We have no audio on our end. Do you have audio, chat?
There we go. Yeah.
What was that?
That's us making the launch noise.
Oh, that's EJ.
Yeah.
I was like, where is that noise coming from? Okay, this is interesting. We're actually flying a little straight here, which is cool, but we can't. All I can hear is EJ making the noises.
Well, you are getting launch sounds at least now.
Hey, is the shuttle, see, we've gotten almost no gimbal.
The X trying to roll it. That's actually not terrible.
There it goes.
There it goes. Yeah.
It's pitched too hard. The drag will take it in a second, I think. Oh, I get it. Come on, stay.
Come on, get the prize. You do it.
Spread your wings.
Literally.
Spread your delta wings, yeah.
Do it.
Now it's wanting to roll. All right, guys, can you all hear the shuttle?
They said they can hear it.
And I'm trying.
That's not
terrible.
bad, man.
There we go. I'm trying very hard here to keep it up.
You're at full yaw left.
Yeah. It's just we don't have the gimbals down here. We're trying to use the shuttle's engines, and each one of these big kickbacks have the same thrust as one of the Skippers. So these are just winning the fight all day, every day. We're at 80,000 though.
Because that doesn't look terrible.
Vehicle's now transonic.
Is that good? All right, well, look at that.
You'll know when it's bad, trust me.
All right, but you hear game sounds, it sounds fine.
And there's cutoff.
We don't get to hear game sounds. Sep.
Go for booster step.
I'm at full throttle on the shuttle engines.
We have booster step confirmed.
Thrust to weight is only 0.5, that's not good. We may need more fuel in the stage. Maybe take some of this fuel out of down here and get more fuel in the stage. I almost don't want to touch it.
Come on.
Wait.
Come on.
Got it.
Yeah,
There you go. Good
yeah,
play.
yeah.
Good correction.
No.
It's not.
You're giving it all she's got, Captain.
There. I dethrottled it a little bit. That's not a normal thing, but...
Oh, boy.
Okay, I can't flip it over. I'm trying so hard to flip it over, but I can't.
Speed's
Oh my
180 ms
gosh.
and descending.
Yeah, that's not good. Because, look, I'm trying to throttle down so I can get leaned over. And this is the way the shuttle would do it, right? Like, it's underneath the main tank at this point? The ET, the external tank.
Yeah, it would...
And there
And so we're in a
goes.
situation where we just are not... well, what if we get on top of the main
speed
tank?
is under 100 meters a second.
We did a lot better that time. I think it's down to the balance of the shuttle now, right?
Yeah.
What would we do here? Would this be clearly not an abort to orbit? This would be a
Return to launch site.
sweet
RTLS abort.
orbital corkscrew thing.
If you can, try to point it retro and get your flight trajectory
Yeah.
back
Yeah,
towards the...
about the whole pointing retro thing.
I mean, well, you were for a second there.
Yeah, we're
and-
just
yeah, and
not...
then prograde for, and then retrograde.
yeah.
And then again, right there.
But see, every time the engines fire,
Yeah.
it's just not...
You could even it out, limit thrust on the #1 engine, which is the one on the top,
Oh, I gotcha.
if you can click on it.
So we got further with that. We moved the engine, or we moved the tank up. But the problem is when we've got no external boosters, it doesn't work. You mind if I try yours, EJ? Can I try yours?
Yeah,
real quick and see what
absolutely,
we
if
can
you
do?
want to.
Isn't that why we made it?
Wait a second. Look, I'm actually flying down. Is that good?
You would set the tank at this point, dude.
I don't have a lot of like time here, but those are our OMS engines, and then these are not on in symmetry. Shut down engine. Shut down engine. Now I can set the tank.
Yep.
That was actually
you
pretty
go.
sweet.
There you go.
Whoa, shuttle. Hang on, hang on. I'm not done. I'm not done.
Nose down.
Yeah, that would be good.
Stick shaker.
If
Stall.
you can.
There. Stop
stall
the rotation first.
Turn on the...
We're falling backwards. That's not what I want. I want to fall forwards. Does this have
Okay.
payload in it? There we... Okay.
I think you do. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Put
Here we
It's
are.
got a half an orange in it, I think.
When you go to test mine, put payload in it. I didn't put
Okay.
anything in.
See, look at this. We're just falling again, and even full throttle. Look at it. It's just basically falling straight out of the sky. Aerodynamics, whatever. It doesn't care.
Oh, man.
No, it just falls out of the sky. I wonder if that's because it was never pointing prograde or what the deal is. Like GG KSP Aero. This is acting like its center of mass is in front of the center of lift again. And it's just, look, yes, this is exactly how the real plane would fly. It would just like
Yeah, well, it flies like a brick, so it kind of does fall like that, except it also falls forward.
fall, forward through some imagination, and
Yeah,
it won't.
your horizontal speed is 5 meters a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're basically just falling straight down. So again, we're having KSP aerodynamic issues, which is okay. The funny thing is this thing keeps flipping around on us. Like, I'm giving it full yaw in one direction, and this doesn't care. It like keeps... Well, we had lots of room to fall at least. Wait, point prograde.
There you go.
Nice.
I'm out of fuel. Come
No,
on.
that's
boy.
not how that works. Okay.
Yeah, it just keeps slipping sideways. The same thing that happens. What is...
Docking
I don't
mode?
Docking
understand
mode,
why
yeah.
it keeps going to docking mode.
Oh, boy.
I didn't understand why the gear collapsed
Too
either
low
yesterday.
to rain.
Yeah,
Too
right.
low
Pull
to
up.
rain. Sync rate.
Pull up.
And it won't pull up, it won't do
Pull
anything.
up.
It's basically
Literally
just not
sync
getting control.
rate.
It's amazing that that
Hey.
survives every time, though. That's hilarious, honestly.
Great. And then the bouncy gear.
Oh man, that's all good though. All right. So let me put EJ's on the pad. Let's go back over here. Vertically, did that go to sleep or what happened?
Yeah, I think...
Oh,
there we
is
go.
it not
We got
plugged
it back.
in? Okay,
We're
we
good.
got it back. Good deal. So this got up to 10 or 15K, but then the balance between the shuttle mains and the external tanks wasn't good. We know that that's something that would need to be debugged, right? We're still working on this, and as it turns out, nobody built the orbiter behind us in 2 streams.
Yep.
I don't think
Yeah,
we built it in any streams.
that took some time to make.
Just a few
So we are certainly
streams, hours, days,
Couple of
years.
years.
yeah, a couple years. We're certainly not going to give up on this. We just Pathfindered again. That's a verb. We Pathfindered.
Ouch.
Are you absolutely sure you didn't load up the Pathfinder?
Oh,
man,
taking
that's
hot shots at me
That's
at like
rough.
10:30
Too
in the
early
morning, man.
for
Come
Right,
on.
where it
for such
hurts.
shenanigans. Seriously, where is the R2? Let me fly EJ's here.
Take your piss.
KSA Shuttle Enterprise R2.
There it is.
You,
there we go.
I think the last iteration I was testing didn't have payload in the bay, so if you want to.
Oh, okay. Half orange tank.
Yeah.
I always like to say bay is bay, so throw it in the bay.
There we go. Half orange tank.
What?
Nothing.
Come on.
I like the bay. They can carry so much stuff.
There you go.
So bay is bay.
All right. So there's a tank and why is that empty?
Over here?
Wait.
Oh,
did-
I did put one in there?
yes,
Oh, okay.
I think you had one.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
it
I
had
thought
no
you
fuel
did.
in it. All right,
I
sweet.
was pretty
Yeah,
sure
it didn't
you
have
did,
fuel
yeah.
in it. There we go. Okay, so the one I just placed didn't actually go anywhere. All right, good deal. Hopefully there's not like a mysterious tank in there. So let's give this a try and see if we can. I'll save it with the payload in there.
I think we should be honest with the viewers here and just I'll tell you what I did to try and get solids to work. It's really cheaty. Not something I think that the Kerbal Space Academy would approve of.
Hey, sometimes you got to make it work, you know.
Yep.
Making it work is what I do.
Look, by any means necessary. We've got a book. We've got a book.
Well,
Are we going to add control surfaces to the bottom of the SRBs as a way of thrust vectoring? Is a question in chat.
Who asked that one?
MK.
Yeah, I mean that's what we were talking about doing, and I frankly kind of ran out of time.
Yeah.
The last time I flew this was probably, I'd say, like 4 or 5 hours ago. I didn't get much sleep trying to get this thing to work.
Do I go for full throttle on launch?
Yeah,
let's try it.
Scanning viewer. Drafting.
maybe a little like 90.
90?
Scanning
All right.
viewer.
I'll
Drafting.
modulate
Scanning
it.
viewer.
Okie dokie.
Drafting.
See, the cool thing about that is that you can manage the
Scanning
throttle on the
viewer.
mains by just
Drafting.
using the throttle key.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the
yeah.
solids, you just
Once they're lit, they're lit.
I had an idea to try to do the liquid core boosters.
Yeah,
so
that's
a good
core
idea.
with maybe a mainsail in there and then SRBs behind it to get the smoke, right?
yeah.
But then you couldn't independently throttle the shuttle engines, the mains on the shuttle,
Exactly. Yeah, it's-
because you don't have 2 throttles in KSP. All your throttles control all your engines at once. But let's put Leges, let's put Rose, let's put Jamia and Platty as our next poor victims here and see what we've got. We'll go a little bit not quite throttled up. We'll lock the panel. We'll engage the SAS.
And now what the actual shuttle does is it fires up the engines for a few seconds because it's going to wobble back and
Oh,
forth.
yeah.
And this does that.
The twang, as it's
Yeah,
called. So as soon as
Oh,
it
yeah,
finishes with the wobble.
Right.
And then it kind of comes back and then we can
Yep,
release the other one.
exactly.
All right, then tell me when to do the roll program.
Now this is an EJ shuttle.
I feel like I need to throttle down even more.
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
the pitch
Yeah.
reading over
Yeah,
there.
exactly, yeah.
I'm reading the pitch right there.
No,
and
no,
if I
that's
can get that.
yeah,
towards the
That's
middle,
what I was doing too. I would throttle it.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
And
There
then
you
if
go.
I can throttle up to try and maintain it right there.
Yeah, roll now.
Roll now.
Roll right 90
Roll
degrees.
program. Yeah, you rotated it in the VAB, right? So it's only a 90-degree roll.
Yeah,
now?
exactly.
Yeah,
There we go.
much better.
Which way are we going?
Exactly like that.
I
Perfect.
need to figure out which way. We're leaning over, so I'm going to throttle up the shuttle's engines. But we do want to turn this way eventually.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Let's keep on going.
Because it goes with the shuttle pointing down towards the Earth when it actually launches. Part of that for heading and trajectory, part of it for tracking stations so it communicate with it.
Really?
Yeah, it used to be that the shuttle would go all the way pitched upside down so it could keep communicating with the ground tracking stations. Then after the shuttle launched the TDRS network, the Tracking Data Relay Satellite Network, it didn't need to do that anymore, so it could roll heads up and then it could just communicate through space.
I just gave it full throttle.
We might have to tweak the solids a little bit more. I think
Yeah,
we
and it
need
looks
to-
like the
And
how the
we're
arrow
going for a
force is
flip.
looking.
Yeah, it
Look at all of the stuff pulling us over.
Holy smokes.
All of the parts that are pulling us over. You can see the mysterious phantom lift that gets generated from the ether pulling us over there. That's what just pulled us over.
I didn't know a cylinder can lift as well as a wing.
Yeah, the cylinder. Look at all the body lift. So 100% of our problem there. The only way you can keep that body lift from happening is continuing flying prograde. And that was like a self-feedback loop where it was reinforcing negative. It was reinforcing that roll that we didn't want, and nothing we could do would fix it simply because KSP magically creates insane amounts of lift from parts that get no airflow.
I mean,
so well, at least we're doing this. So this is nice.
The cool thing is that I got I tweaked the solids. The solids have the right amount of thrust.
Yeah.
It's just the arrow takes it every time.
The arrow,
like
this makes no sense.
Yeah, that's
KSP
It's
logic.
a sweet flip though.
Yep, flip program complete.
Like, oh man.
But if you, I mean, once you'll get, I mean, the arrow is taking it right now.
Yeah.
But if you shut off, if you turned off the arrow influences right now, the thing would fly.
The thing would fly
straight,
beautifully.
Yeah.
In terms of just straight COM COT thrust.
And guys, I don't hate the stock arrow. It's just completely unrealistic. These parts would not get lift in the way that they. Whoa!
Oh no!
Okay, well here we are to shuttle light mode again.
Hey, there's a parachute on it though.
Yes,
Oh, wait,
there
there
now.
is?
Yes.
Wait.
Deploy
pop
shoot.
all shoots
Go for shoot
ever.
deploy. Go for shoot deploy. We have confirmed shoot deploy.
We're gonna get smacked by debris as retribution
Oh
for
no!
the shenanigans.
Oh no! Oh no!
Look out.
Please, no!
Look
No!
out.
No!
Wait,
Look at this part.
I
Oh
think
my
it's going around us.
gosh.
I think we're good.
I don't know, man. That part right there.
No.
This is gonna be. What is this?
Whoa.
Oh yes, look at the arrow. Look at the arrow forces making those pieces fly around randomly. All right. You know something? They're actually flying up right now.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, 2 kilometers away from
I think
us
we're
there.
good though. I think all of this debris, although it looks bad.
Oh, something's gonna crash over there by the runway.
Oh,
Kersploosh.
Ouch. Okay. Well, the only other thing that I can think here, the roll program as well. Oh my gosh, look at this.
Whoa.
What is that? I don't even know what that is. Oh,
Looks like part of the body.
What is this? What is this?
Nothing.
Where did this come from?
Don't mind this part. Just look over there.
Wait, could we drive back to land? No, we can't.
We don't have the mono.
We don't have any fuel.
Oh wait, we have the mono. You might be able to assist
Oh,
with the mono,
no.
but I don't know if we're how short we are on time.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, we
we're
have a
short on
half
time.
hour till we have an astronaut coming on.
So, our options are. Oh,
Oh.
hey, how's it going? Thank you. Our options try to do the gimbaled SRBs with liquid cores,
Now,
which we lose the throttling abilities.
you could tweak this because the SRBs. I have tweaked SRBs, so there's. To be honest, there's 18 of them in each.
18 clipped into each.
In each stack. Like I said, it's super cheaty, and I'll be completely transparent and honest about it. But the key to this, to getting the COM COT right, is having different boosters flame out at different times.
Right. Because that's
and
what the actual boosters do.
Yeah, it trails
Yeah,
off in
yeah,
thrust
it
over
trails
time.
off.
Yep. And what I basically was trying to figure out, and I guess calculate last night, is trying to get those boosters to trail off at the right times. I was using my shuttle as a rule of thumb there.
Yeah.
And I tried to make it work like it, but it still needs to be dialed in a little more.
Yeah.
If you gave me maybe another like 23 hours with it,
23 hours.
it would probably be good. But
Yeah, you've got 30 minutes.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, all the basics, all the realistic basics we have taken care of, and we're just fighting the arrow model now.
It's straight
We
arrow.
have to
I have
fake things.
I have the thrust. The thrust is right on target for where we need it
Yeah.
to be. It'll trail off over time, and if you disable the arrow, the thing just, in terms of straight lining, center of mass and center lift up and center of thrust, it flies perfect. But the problem is just the arrow takes it like that, and the way you can counter that is to tweak the SRBs to have less thrust.
Right.
And if you make them have less thrust over time, you're not as efficient. And the whole point of tweaking the boosters like that is to get a nominal trail off the entire time.
Yeah.
You
and
want
that takes time. There's no tool in the game that helps us do that.
exactly. That's just
Trial and
something you
error.
got to mess with. But I mean,
Like death by trial and error almost.
well, that's what Kerbal's
well,
about,
for
man.
these 4 viewers, yeah.
Keep on going. I'm going to fly it again.
Yeah,
and
give
I'll
it another
commentate.
shot.
I'm going to really try to go pro grade. Like, if we can just maintain pro grade, we can keep the game from bringing in those phantom lift forces.
I don't know how keen you are on activating the reaction control system mid-ascent. I mean, the shuttle never did that.
Yeah.
but
It did an ohms burn. It did an ohms boost.
Yeah.
But that was just post ET7.
It wouldn't be for
SRB
pro
7.
grade control though.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's
But yeah,
just
it
a
did do
little
an
extra
ohms
boost.
burn.
As soon as the boosters separated, it would burn its ohms engines for about 20 or 30 seconds.
I mean, look, I can burn the ohms engines by pressing 1. So if we need additional torque from that side, we
Yeah.
can turn on the ohms.
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though the shuttle wouldn't do that in the phase that we're trying to use it.
But you do have to watch your fuel on your ohms pods,
Yeah,
though, 'cause
yeah.
you don't
Oh,
want to
they're
waste
not-
all of it.
They're not bringing through fuel from the other thing. That's right.
Yep.
Let's give this the good old Kerbal Space Academy try and see if we can get this thing going. I may not even try a roll program. I don't know. Throttle up, kind of. Panel lock, meh. SAS is engaged for what
Ish.
that's worth.
Yeah, you know what? Do the roll later in the ascent.
Later
See what
in the
happens.
ascent?
Yeah.
Just try to have SAS control
go
it and
up,
just try to
yeah.
keep
Just have
it
it go
programmed.
up.
Yeah,
All right.
that's a good idea. Do
3,
that.
2, 1. Espace. Let's go. Oh wait, that's right.
And
we
then
do it twice.
there's the twang, and then boom.
There's the twang, and that's like it's like equalizing the forces, I guess.
Exactly.
It's like,
The
I guess
action-
preloading almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of
In a way,
preloading all
yeah.
the connections and stuff.
For the
so
most
that it's
part.
not-
Yeah, they had to.
gotcha.
I mean, whenever you have that much thrust coming off an asymmetrical lifter, because I believe each RS-25, which is the shuttle main engine, had like 1,800 kilonewtons of thrust. It's like having 3 mainsails on the back, almost,
Right.
Yeah.
only a little more powerful.
I gotcha.
So literally, when you had main engine start, the whole thing would tilt. And they had to make sure that it was pointing straight up again when the boosters ignited, because if it wasn't, you'd have an off nominal occurrence.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at the lift.
Yeah.
Wow.
That the shuttle's getting here. And I'm gonna see if I can make it go away.
It's a great orbiter. It's great for landing as a plane. Terrible as a rocket.
Yeah, I mean it works pretty well. I mean, I had to take some liberties with different parts on it, but I tried to keep it as close to the original design as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks
Is it just the design of the underbody of the shuttle, or is the shuttle actually tilting away a little bit here? Like, is the shuttle
Seems like
tilting away?
seems
from
like the arrow on the bottom of the shuttle's trying to take it.
Yeah. Look at this.
Whoa. Yeah, it pitches all the way at the bottom.
And look at all the lift we're getting from the shuttle. And then it tilts over, and then we get all this mysterious lift from this, right?
Yeah. I mean, I heard some people in the chat say to fin stabilize the SRBs. If we want to get even more cheaty, we
Yeah.
could put control surfaces in there and
That
make
would
that
help.
do. But
This right here, it's almost like we have to maintain, because look, maybe strutting it in more, the shuttle definitely looks like it's tilted up. And those strakes are going to get some lift there, and then once we get to this point, we just lose control because these things are giving us so much crazy lift.
yeah,
You know something? I want to try one more thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to try and maintain the shuttle's angle of attack the other way to pull us towards the main tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
lift that
Yeah,
those
yeah,
wings
yeah.
are generating based on angle of attack is pushing us towards the tank instead of the other way. I don't know if that's going to work, but we're 100% fighting against the game physics now. Are we going to build it like this? What do you mean? I'm going to try to fly it that way, and if that helps, maybe we'll actually tilt the shuttle in a little bit and like build it with the angle of attack. Now, the real shuttle didn't do that. Was the real shuttle exactly straight? Was it angled any? Do we know?
Very
It's
slightly
angled up.
Okay.
Not much.
It's slightly angled
Barely-
away from the tank.
And that's
Yeah.
not because I mean they didn't put it like
Scanning.
angled to the tank, angled relative to the
Viewer
tank like that. It's the
drafting.
underbody of the orbiter.
Scanning.
Right.
It's clearly visible here. If you look at the underbody,
It's
it
like a
slopes up
slope
towards the
Yep.
front.
thing, yeah.
Exactly.
So I mean, right now, if you look at the Mark III payload bay, it's
Scanning.
completely
Viewer
parallel to your
drafting.
external tank. It's just how we made the control surfaces on the bottom.
Yeah. Man, oh man. We will continue working on this. Let's see what
Yep.
we've got here. Add. And if we have to, we may just do a regular rocket launch for a Hubble Space Telescope. 36. All right.
Yep.
Let me see what I can do here, guys. Because we see that shuttle's lift pulling us in the way that we don't want to go.
Yep.
It's like the combination of the boosters and the center of mass being off the boosters and the shuttle's lift pulling us that way. We don't have enough control authority because we're lacking gimbals down here to compensate for that.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, even on the real shuttle, that even if it had a sloped underside like that, it would be causing at best a minimal amount of drag.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be causing lift. Because in order for lift to be caused, you have to have high pressure over one surface, low pressure over another, and that's not really what's happening on the
Yeah.
bottom of the shuttle.
It's like angle of attack induced lift.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
Where it's, yeah. All right, let's give this a try. We'll bring up the main engines. We'll do the SRBs. I want to lift over this way. I'm gonna go full throttle on the shuttle mains right now because I want to flip over past
yeah, you want to go past
Yeah.
prograde, right?
Okay.
Is it ever gonna let me? See, now I've got lines going this way, but the shuttle wings are still going that way. Like no matter
It
what.
looks like it's trying to compensate.
Can I push? It's almost like a thrust to weight.
Just let it.
problem there.
Just let it do it. Yeah,
It'll
you
probably correct itself.
You might have to. Yeah, we might have to tweak. I mean, the beauty of the SRB is, yeah, we don't have gimbal, but we can tweak individual SRBs to have different amounts of thrust at different times.
Right. Look at the roll. Look, do you see the weird lift that comes out of all of these parts put together?
Well, there's 18 of them.
Yeah. And I like even what I'm holding down. There's nothing I can do to compensate, and that's probably the killer right there. Because we're not moving exactly programmed when you try to execute the roll.
And there's literally,
these start to get all sorts of wacky body lift, and now I can't roll anymore.
Even if every single one was included.
I'm holding down roll, and it's rolling in the opposite direction. Because look, see. KSP Arrow. I'm glad it's so realistic.
No comment.
Oh, buddy.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Simpler boosters. We could just go for liquid boosters. They're not going to have enough thrust. The twin boards would give us 2,000. That's not nearly enough thrust for these.
On mine, I use 4 mainsails, and I didn't bring my craft 5 on purpose because I wanted us to go through the design process.
Yeah, look at this thing. But that's okay. Like we said, the shuttle wasn't built in a day.
That's
and
right.
We're not going to build.
I can attest to that. It's not an easy thing to try and build and understand.
Especially when there's magical forces that don't exist in the real world being applied to the craft. But anyways, moving right along. Do I check the weather forecast? Yes, there's a hurricane. There's a current. You can alter the angle of attack. Yeah. That's what we were talking about, altering the angle of attack of the shuttle. But it still doesn't seem like that's going to be a huge thing. Let me load up the other one. Let's give it a one-shot try, maybe like a 2-shot try on these things.
6 tries later.
Yeah, right. Be quiet.
3 hours later.
Man. Let me slap together, and we'll change this as like R3 or something. And let me see if we can't slap together. Should we go for a liquid booster? Because we know that that's something that's doable.
Yeah, it's a solid inspired booster.
Yeah. You know, I'm undoing this. And I'm like torn by the way to fix this. We were able to get up high enough. We just didn't have enough fuel in here because of the thrust to weight. Let's look at that right quick. Because we know that we can nurse this design as far up as we can go. You know what I mean? Rocket on the tanks. Why didn't we put rockets on the tank? We're trying to go with the real shuttle sort of thing here.
So, yeah, this is the one that we were designing yesterday on the stream. I mean,
yeah.
I want to see, why are there launch clamps there? That doesn't make any sense. What is our rotation if we fire these? It's saying we have 1,706 kilonewtons of torque.
Now keep in mind, these values are what the tank's mass would be at liftoff.
Right.
So you have to kind of find the where your boosters trail off and separate.
Yeah, you're right.
And tweak the fuel to that point.
Which
and
we can change the altitude and check too. But
that's 2,000. Well, the amount of fuel left.
The amount of fuel left
is where we're going. Yeah. It's almost like we need to do a launch and then see how much fuel remains in these tanks at that point in the game. Even that, look at that torque. Do you see once we empty out those tanks on top, we've got crazy amounts of torque?
Yeah.
Let me look at RCS Build Aid and see if there's... That's the DCOM, that's the ACOM. Let's just go with the COM.
Wow.
The engines.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
And we're looking good here, right? We're looking okay here.
It's not bad, except for the very end.
But we need more mass in the bottom, look.
And it's terrible.
Okay, that moved the full center of mass down. So we need the full center of mass to move up and inwards. This is actually wacky looking. Look, if we put fuel there, and we don't put fuel here, okay, there's no fuel there. That's not going to help us because this would drain at the same rate. What if we also put fuel here? And you see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to make a straight line here.
Yeah, I mean, it's
if I can make a straight line from the shuttle's mains through the dry to the average up to the center of mass, that's a good thing for us. But we could angle it more.
Indeed.
We could take the fuel out of these. That's going to make it a little bit more of a straight line. We can't really... All of these things are going to drain at the same rate, so that's not going to help us. That isn't going to help us. These tanks are full right now. What if we filled these up? Come on. Okay, come on.
Now, are you going to use these fuel to drain, or are you going to use them as ballast?
No. I'm trying to, like... guess where the fuel will be, and I'm like saying it's going to drain from the top of the stack first, and then it's going to drain from here, and that's not even enough to compensate. Like if I fill that,
I mean,
that would definitely be empty, unfortunately. Those would be empty. Those are full. These would be empty as well. It looks, do you see how bad that gets us?
Yep.
Oh,
All
boy.
of those are going to drain, and then our center of mass is going to look like that. What do we have here? That one's full. That one's full. Those are empty. Adding mass to that makes it worse. Do you see how that moves the center of mass over? That makes it a lot worse. What if we take the fuel out of these? Look at that. That's interesting that the center of mass doesn't change that much at that point. But putting it down here isn't going to help anybody. That's going to make it a lot worse. That's not what we want. That's interesting that at that point the center of mass almost doesn't move. That is the same thing. We need that fuel to be up in the stack. You know something? What if we look at that?
Yeah, that's making progress.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
Not as bad.
Let's put more fuel up here, knowing that this stuff is going to drain in this order. That's actually not bad either. Come on. Come on. Oh, we just put the majority of our fuel up here. And then these tanks down here don't have as much. It's almost like we need fuel. So look, all those are empty. Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's 24.75. We're going to get more out of these as well. Then all these are empty as well.
Now, Daz, how many tanks do you have full here?
Just the top entire stack.
So that's 8?
And then that's 9. We have 9 orange tanks.
That's, okay. All right. I mean,
think that's not enough?
No, I think that's way too much.
You think that's way too much?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I mean,
That may totally be a thing then.
with mine, dude, I have, let's see, 5.
5 orange tanks?
5 tanks, and I always end with half orange
Really?
tank
Wow.
left over.
Maybe we just have such a glut of fuel because we've got all of these orange tanks in. That's actually a really good point. Hey, good morning. Let's put these back on.
Because I mean, the skippers are pretty liberal with the amount of thrust that they have, but they sip fuel. I mean,
right?
They're not nearly as powerful as the mainsail, and they're definitely not a gas guzzler like the mainsail.
Yeah.
So
okay.
they don't. I mean, yes, there is 3 of them, but I can guarantee you that they sip fuel comparatively.
I got you, dude. I got you. No, that's good. That's good insight, honestly.
Huh. So this might actually work. I don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah, oh, be quiet. We're in so much trouble here. We didn't change much.
The circle is smaller though, man.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
circle's definitely smaller. It says
A lot less
670 or 720, 681. An engineer will actually take into account burning these at full throttle and then this. So when we SEP, we'll have 700 kilonewton meters of torque. That's not great, but you know something? It would take a long time to balance this out perfectly.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, you know, I get ragged on for taking my time, but this is something that you have to take your time.
You do have to do.
You really have to fundamentally understand the principles of asymmetric lifting. And everything.
These are supposed to go away from the shuttle, aren't they? The SEPs, when they SEPs, the boosters go off in this direction. They don't go up past the shuttle.
Yeah, ideally you want your top separatrons pointing in front of the shuttle's nose.
I gotcha. Are those struts in there? Looks like those struts are hitting. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to do this right quick, and then we're going to launch this thing. There we go. There we go. 2x symmetry. I have no clue where that one just went. Probably not to the right
think radial.
place.
Yeah, that was radial.
You can't. Yeah. You
oh,
can't
it's
force
in
an
radial
error.
no matter what now. Drat. Well, that's okay. Yes.
Yeah. No.
Well, because I put those on with radial, I guess, and there's no way because it sticks and you can't go from radial over to. So I'm just going to put them on with 1x.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Just in the interest of time, guys. Again, we're doing a lot of things not exactly the perfect way here because it takes time, and we're trying to like make a balance between doing it the right way and getting it done. How's that?
That looks okay.
That looks better.
Yeah.
It's fine. Now, are they in the right staging? Yeah, they're all fine. You know something?
Looks like you might cook your external tank a little bit, but I mean, with the heat, the way the heat transfers, I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
We used to be able to blow stuff up with separatrons pointed at stuff.
Yeah, the Apollo 13 stream, that was a good one, man.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
Thank you. Yes.
That was funny.
I don't know how many that took. It was like 15
Yeah,
small
it
guns
was
pointed
something,
at a
it was
tank.
something
Well, now
ridiculous,
none of them
right?
work. It turns. I think they got rid of that in 103.
I tried doing it the other day to sim. I actually tried to break a rocket and I couldn't do it.
Couldn't.
Me too. I tried
like
to do it for
that.
July 4th, and it would not destroy it. I tried. What did I do? 60 Separatrons?
That's the same problem that we had.
Yeah, 60 Separatrons did not work.
Look at this.
Drafted.
And then when I go and like launch the shuttle, just blows up. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
man.
KSP
like
logic.
This is the same thing. We were trying to make the Apollo 13, and I couldn't force the tank to blow.
Yeah, it's.
But then it'll blow whenever it, like, for no reason, the octog will overheat and then things
Yeah,
will
you
explode.
want it to blow up? It doesn't. Don't want it to blow up? It does.
Let's see what we've got here. I'm going to F5 for safety. I'm going to throttle up a little bit. We'll panel lock. We'll SAS engage. I don't know. Let's just see if we can get this thing done. 3, 2, 1.
Let's
Money.
Space.
Wanna go space?
That doesn't
No.
look right at all. Okay, that was the shortest. All right, sweet. Land it. Land it.
I want to go to Earth.
Land
I want to
it.
go back to Earth.
No.
Go back to Kerbal.
Oh,
I think we need more thrust on the shuttle.
What
I think
gave
we
you
need a
that
little bit
idea?
more.
I think
Just
we
like-
had an off nominal
Oh,
occurrence.
we've got too many SRBs now too. Those SRBs were tuned for all that fuel that we had.
Yeah, that's right.
And now we've got way too much thrust on
Oh.
that side.
It,
need to
loo-
throttle them
looked
down.
like they weren't strutted.
Did it look like they flipped?
It looked like your port side SRB just clipped right into your tank.
All right.
Solids are still burning, by the way.
The solids are still going. The solids are still going. Success. Everything's fine. They're alive. That's what
Yep.
happens sometimes.
I saw something go on
There's
in
a
your
couple
left SRB. See, look at them.
Ooh, yeah. The
Oh,
struts
wobble,
didn't
baby,
connect
wobble,
on that
baby.
side.
They're not strutted.
They connected
No.
on that side, but not that side.
Yeah.
That could be a problem.
All right, we gotta fix that. Hey, okay, I just clicked on you. All right, so when I replaced the things, they didn't work correctly.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, yes, but that's how we learn, guys. I'm not worried about this happening over and over again.
KSP's a game of trial and error, man.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
That's how you figure it out. You got to figure it out, and you got to
And that's the fun of it, is
tweak it
learning
until.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't just pop into KSP one day and I'm like, oh, shuttle,
It
done.
just works fine.
It took a long time. I've been honing my shuttle design over years
Uh-huh.
now.
Yep.
I mean,
Let me get these struts out. Where's the root of the struts? Oh my gosh, so many clipped parts. I can't even find the roots. Go away so I can find you. Anything? Struts? I'm never going to find those strut roots. Kickback? I can't. Yeah. Can I get it from this angle? Oh, okay. Here we go. Got him. That's not it. I can't grab him from there either. You'll see that?
Oh, yeah. It's like it's in the tank there.
Where are these struts even? What?
oh.
Yeah.
GG.
GG.
Huh?
Fail fish.
Thanks, KSP.
How does... What?
I love you. What? That was the... All right.
Hashtag
whatever.
KSP logic.
Hashtag something. All right. There we go. And then we'll go like this. And everybody here knows that we absolutely love KSP. And we get a little salty sometimes because it's been a work in progress for the longest times. And we've learned some things working a certain way. And then as they work on the game, the things change sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is what it is. I mean, we continue to learn. Apparently, Kerbal Space Academy will be in business for a long time with the number of changes that KSP enacts constantly.
Because we continue to learn, as does Squad. So
You know something?
Yeah.
all of us are learning.
I'm just going to manually strut these in the interest of time, guys.
Yeah, I got you.
There we go. And do we have someone greeting Mass whenever he gets here?
I think
Sawyer?
we'll find him.
Okay, good
I
deal.
don't know what the deal is yet.
Okay, good deal.
We'll all find out together, I guess.
Let's put that there. Let's put the struts there. Now we've got
By
those
any means
strutted.
necessary.
By any means
Yeah.
necessary. There you go.
No, wait, that's wrong astronaut.
Save that. Launch that. No, this is for every astronaut.
Well, no, because the
By
bullet.
Hubble.
I know.
Yeah,
All right.
I-
So how about by Hubble Space Telescope Owner's Workshop Manual?
I figured it would be
There you
fitting to
go.
get that signed.
Yeah, we should.
If
Yeah,
we
we should
could.
probably do that.
All right. It's some serious surgical procedure. You know something? That was a laparoscopic rocket procedure. We just made a tiny incision, and we removed the struts.
Simple outpatient procedure.
Yes, a simple
Nice.
out shuttle
Scanning.
procedure.
Yep.
Viewer, drafted.
All right. Crazy carts. And
Oh, cards.
Oh, boy.
digital zeros.
Scanning
And
viewer, drafted.
Pizzari. And one more.
Scanning viewer, drafted.
Brian. Okay, good deal. And
Cards, I
Brian.
wish you the
Brian.
best of luck.
Yes. Good luck with this thing. I strutted it, but I didn't thrust limit the boosters. That will be the next thing we try. I'm just gonna throttle all the way up. SA is engaged. What do you guys think? F5 for safety.
Let's go for it.
Let's just go for it.
Let's do it.
Don't kill me.
Crazy.
Too bad.
I'm in there.
Yes,
Don't
it
kill me.
is. Epidemic, it is. It's a Haynes manual for the
Yep,
shuttle.
and
We've got
Shuttle and
Soyuz,
Hubble.
we've got Hubble, we've got all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
So let's give this a try, guys. You know, if we don't give up, if one of our rockets explodes, which it usually does, we launch more rockets. We learn from the mistakes, we launch more rockets, just like we do in real life. 3, 2, 1.
Space.
F5 for safety again.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Respace.
Space.
Space.
And that's full throttle there, so there we're getting the issue with the overboost from the SRBs, so we really just need to thrust limit those SRBs. What's our thrust to weight here? 1.6? We need to get that down to like 1.3 or
Yeah, I mean,
less.
with the other design as well, it was the same thing.
Yep.
If you throttle back the SRBs, it'll lessen the aero influence on those on the wings on the shuttle.
Yep.
You mean like that?
You won't get that crazy lift coming out of your swallow.
Yep. Look at us going sideways and we get the
Just like
magical
that.
lift from those now. And then we have bingo control authority to fix that. Well, we can go this way.
Crazy card.
Hey, wait, now flip me over by throttling down the shuttle engines. Look, flip me.
I think the arrow is.
Flip me the other way.
Oh, there you
Come on.
No, flip me, SRBs, come on.
That's not how
Wait.
that's supposed to work.
What? It's now not flipping? Oh, we wanted to?
Look at all of the lines going in that direction, and it will not flip me to the east.
Literally, the lift of your solid rocket boosters is countering the off-nominal thrust there.
It's like flying just fine now, which is amazing.
Wrong direction, but yeah.
You're going.
It's the
Yeah,
perfect launch.
You're going retrograde.
It's a
But
perfect
hey,
retro-
whatever.
If
orbit
we were
launch.
upside down, we would be good to go, right? Okay, this is ridiculous. Honestly. We need to be flipped over. We need to be flipped over. And again, all of the wacky stuff that we're getting, this is all not good. Hey, look at this!
Right.
It definitely doesn't work this way.
Yeah.
It's not working how it's.
And I think we'll have an expert tell us that.
Yeah. So we keep going. The main stages are going to be gone. There you go. Now we've got nothing. At least these will sep. But it's going to flip us over the wrong. Whoa! Not good. Turn around, please.
Yeah.
It's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
Guys, let's do this. We need to get set up for our special guest. We are going to take about a 5-minute break here to get set up. When we come back in 5 minutes, we're going to have astronaut Mike Massimino on with us, who we will not put in this shuttle. I don't think we're going to put him in this shuttle. But that's the plan, guys. We are going to revert this back down to kind of screensaver mode. We'll put it on the launch pad. This is not a shuttle that's certified for human space flight yet. It is still a work in progress, and we're still learning about it, right? We're still learning about the complexities of the shuttle and the complexities of asymmetric lifters.
That's a that's a big book.
We're learning. We're
Big
learning.
book you got to read.
But we are going to be right back, guys. When we get back, astronaut Mike Massimino with us. We'll be talking about the Hubble missions. We'll be talking about his role in repairing the Hubble and all sorts of other awesome things that he did when he was in space and as an astronaut. We're going to be out for about 5 minutes, and we will be right back. So don't go anywhere, guys. We totally appreciate you watching. All right. So you can hear me. Sawyer, are you good?
I'm good.
Mike, are you good?
I'm good.
Outstanding. Let's get over this way. We go back to the full screen cam and then bring this down like this. All right, guys. We are back. Thank you for being patient there. We did a little bit of a switch to get our guest set up here. We've actually got astronaut Mike Massimino with us here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
It's myself as well, and then NASA man Sawyer Rosenthien over here. We are going to be talking a little bit about Mike. Can I call you Mike? Is that cool?
Oh, yes, my name. So
That's
that's
what I should call you, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be talking a little bit about Mike's experiences in space, kind of what you do with the museum and that sort of stuff. So,
Okay.
you were an astronaut.
Yep.
How'd you like it?
It was a good job.
It was
I
a good
highly
job.
recommend it. It's probably the best. I think it's the best job you can have.
Yeah?
It's awesome. Yeah.
Do you, I mean, you worked on the Hubble. You went on other missions. What sort of missions stick out in your memory? What do you like about it? What did you think was awesome?
So the missions, I flew twice on the space shuttle. Once
Okay.
on Columbia, and I had a second shuttle flight on Atlantis, and both of those flights were to the Hubble Space Telescope.
Excellent.
Which is kind of interesting because most of our work, most of the focus of our work was actually space station. I became an astronaut in '96. We were just starting to gear up to build the station. The first flight, the first assembly flight was flown a couple years later, and so most of my training and work that I did in the control center and so on was either for the space station or for flights that were building the space station. But
Okay.
the two flights I actually was on had nothing to do with the space station.
Right. Y'all didn't even like
I was
stop
at
at the
the
space station.
No, we just
Yeah.
passed it, sort of. And,
Passed it.
No, yeah, we were a bit higher and in a different inclination. So.
That's right. Is that the highest the shuttle ever went?
Yeah, so the idea behind it was with the telescope is you want to get the telescope as far away from Earth as possible.
Right.
So you were limited with that by how high you could, what altitude the shuttle could achieve.
Right.
And
right.
so
'Cause it was
that's
deployed
what
by.
limited. That's right. It flew. We have a space shuttle behind. Can you see this thing in your
There's
picture?
A
there?
little bit
Just a
there.
little
Yeah,
bit.
so it's
exactly.
pretty
That's us
big.
right there. Yeah.
The Hubble's about the size of a school bus, and
Which fits inside of this.
which
Yeah.
fits inside of the payload bay. So it was made. It was designed. In fact, all the pieces of the space station that were put together as well all had the requirement on the U.S. side of things. There's kind of like two major sides of the space station: the Russian segment and the U.S. or what we would call the U.S. operating system set, which includes our partners as well. You know, the European countries of the European Space Agency, Canada and Japan.
Right.
So all all that side of it had to fit inside. Any elements you had to fit inside of the shuttle.
Gotcha. And I'm actually switching over. I mean, one of the things we've done in KSP that works a lot better than our current iteration of the shuttle design we've been working on. We've actually got what we call the Kerbal International Space Station here.
Yeah, but we'll throw that on stream too, so the stream can also see
Yeah,
it.
I will. I'll flip it over when it loads up here. So one of the things that we did on one of our shows was we went through and we learned about the space station and all the different modules, the European lab, the Kibo, the JAXA lab,
Yeah.
the U.S. segments, and
Nice.
like all the different parts. And so
Yeah.
we made a replica of it here in KSP.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Which looked like this, and this one explodes about 1,000% less than the space shuttle we're working on right now.
All
But
right.
I've put that on the screen over there, and let me make sure I get this up as well. But we can keep talking. I was just bringing this up to show you this is one of the other sorts of things we've done. We've got
Yeah.
2 Soyuzes docked here.
Yeah.
Anytime we do like a Soyuz mission in real life,
Uh-huh.
we'll do a show where we do it in the game as well, and we talk about
Okay.
who's going up and why,
Right.
like the year in space we talked about and that sort
That's
of stuff.
great. Yeah.
But this is just another thing we were doing with the game. I was just bringing this up as a visual aid
Looks
of
good.
the sorts of things
Yeah, I
we
like
do.
it. Yeah.
But we were talking about the Hubble.
Uh-huh.
There's a huge Hubble exhibit here.
Yes, we're at the Intrepid Museum, and there's a Hubble exhibit right behind us
And I
as
think
well.
we
on
can
the other
actually
side of
see
this.
that, yeah.
Yeah, the bright stuff underneath, like
Right
toward
underneath
the,
there, yeah,
behind
yeah, yeah.
us.
Right
Yeah,
behind your
that's
head, Dust, yeah.
that's what the display is.
Yeah, there it is,
There you
actually.
go.
The Hubble
The
25
exhibit.
right there.
Yep. Yeah.
Outstanding. And you helped with that a little bit, I think?
I did, yeah. I mean, Eric Baim and his team, the curating team here, did all the work. I made a couple suggestions,
Right.
but I like it. There's some. Have you been over there?
Yeah,
You guys
we've-
take a
oh my
look?
gosh,
You've
we've
been
walked
over there?
around.
Sterling's been over there.
Yeah.
Every time we take a break, we walk around there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So you got a bunch of our tools that we actually used in space,
Yeah.
and a handrail that I had to remove from the break off actually from the telescope is there.
That's still
And then they have what it's like to train in our pool, which is really cool. They have a very immersive
Yeah.
experience there.
There's like
So
a
it's
video
really very realistic.
that plays in the back, right? There's
Yeah.
like a video
Yeah.
back there.
Yeah,
you
it,
can
it
watch
makes
them
it. It's
training.
exactly. It really brings back the memories for me because we spent so much time training in that pool.
Yeah,
You know,
how-
so So that's unbelievable, getting a chance to. That's my favorite place to go, actually. It's my happy place now.
Really?
Yeah, I just go in there and.
Go in there and check it out. It's a very kind of soothing, like there's like the water.
It is, and that's
on the
kind of what
wall.
it's like, and it brings back the motion, the lighting, the discussion that we were having. I mean, that was the noise in the background. It's incredible because you do these things and they're very meaningful.
Yeah.
But then they end, and you move on, and now it's nice to see. It's nice to be able to relive some of that here at the museum.
That's
So
awesome.
how does that compare? Because you did quite a bunch of spacewalks repairing Hubble. So how did it compare training in the neutral buoyancy lab, the giant pool, to actually doing it out in space?
Yeah, the pool is the best way to get ready for the flight.
Okay.
To be able to prepare for this. There's no better way to do it than to do it in the what's the matter
Neutral-
with me?
The NBL.
In the
Neutral
NBL.
Yeah, the
Okay,
NBL, neutral
so what
buoyancy
it
lab.
does is it gives you the opportunity to work in the suit, to get your position right, to work the teamwork between your buddy and you and the rest of the team, so you can practice crew coordination. But you can begin start to finish and do a spacewalk in one day there. And it prepares you to do the job, the work with the tools and the telescope and the shuttle and your team very, very well. And what it lacks is it doesn't give you the visual.
Right.
I mean, holy crap, I'm in space.
Yeah.
So it doesn't provide that.
That's
You're
it's
in
like,
a pool.
hey, that's the side of a pool. Yeah.
Right. You're in this water and scuba divers and there's no stars or anything like that. So, but it prepares you to do your job better than anything I can imagine. It's just great. It really is.
So that's kind of a big thing. Like you were talking about the tools you have over there, and you would practice in the pool with some of the tools you had, and then it was kind of an iterative thing. They could go and they could change a tool before the actual mission if you were having trouble grasping it or moving it a certain way.
Correct. Yeah. So we designed the one we spent probably the most time. We spent a lot of time on a lot of tools, but there's one shown here that's a power tool that we designed.
Yeah.
Particularly for our flight. We had a bigger power tool. There's a picture of it.
Right.
That was used for Hubble and also to build the space station. It was a high torque tool, had fairly powerful tool. It went up to 60 RPM, and it worked great. But it was kind of big.
Yeah.
We wanted something more like you would find in a hardware store, which was a high speed up to 300 RPM or so, with a light on it, so we could see what we were doing inside the telescope, and kind of not necessarily high torque and power, but high speed and better feel, so we could get these smaller screws. We had lots of small screws, 117 on one repair that I did, and I think it was like 37 on another one that John Grunsfeld.
117 screws.
So a lot of screw, a little screw. You didn't want to, you wanted a special. So to design out, we kind of started from scratch with that, and that was a really important tool and fairly complicated with lots of features on it, and that took a while, but that's what it was. We try a prototype. We get the thing in the water, and of course it wouldn't work because the casing leaked and took out the electronics the first couple of times. Stuff like that. You just keep trying until you get it right, or get it good enough anyway.
What do you do with the screws? I mean, you take a screw out. There's 117 of the things. You can't like you've been working on a car at home and you drop the screw into the engine. And you're like, well, that one's gone. I'm never going to find that again.
Yeah.
That's not an option with the Hubble Space
No,
Telescope.
it's not.
You can't
You
just
can't
let
have
it go into the
and
engine.
it was also it wasn't just screws. There were washers around each one of these screws, and there was also staking, which is glue on the threads, so that they would never back out. When they put these instruments are flying on the space shuttle.
Then you went to take them all out, and they're not supposed to come out.
It was never intended for it to come out.
Yeah.
So what we did is we put a capture plate, and there's one of the capture plates is actually
there,
here.
Right? Yeah.
And so the capture plate would be installed. We did some tricks sort of to create a way to mount it onto the cover. So it was more or less a cover that was covering the electronics that we needed to pull out and replace.
It's almost like a template sort of thing that would go into a certain place.
Right. So what that did, it was a piece of plexiglass, more or less, Lexan, that had holes in it that lined up with each one of the screws that we needed to take out. So the holes were large enough so that the tool head could go through,
Okay.
But small enough so that the screw could not
Screw
float
wouldn't
out.
come back out, so it gives you
nothing-
access to it.
Right, so everything's floated
Ah.
inside behind this panel. And you can see that here at the museum.
Yeah, it's right.
It's
We
very
walked
clever.
around.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
entire center of the exhibit over there is a bunch of tools on it. It's like
Yeah.
like you can walk
Stuff
around.
we actually
and
had on in space with us. Yeah.
there was there's a card puller or something too.
Yeah.
Which we can kind of relate to. You know, I put together this computer here, which involves plugging
That's a
cards
lot of
in.
wires there, yeah.
It's a lot of wires, right?
Yeah.
But when I plug a card in, I'm just like, and I plug it in. No big deal.
Yeah.
You don't just do that with a Hubble Space Telescope.
No,
Like, it has to go
you-
a very specific.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pins. Like on the card I replaced, it had 120 pins on the back. You know, those little pins. So I mean, it was intended never to do this in space. That's the kind
Yeah.
of thing you would do in a very clean environment. And so, yeah, that was part of the issue is that you weren't working in a in a lab or in a clean room or
Yeah.
in a shop or something where you could do this, or even in your living room. You're working in space. So we had special tools to help us remove the cards that needed to come out, and then a tool to help us put it back in and seat it so that it would make good contact. And you had to be really careful. I had to line up perfectly.
Yeah.
But you bent one pin, you're out of luck.
Did
So
y'all
you
have
had to-
spares?
We did. We had a spare electronics board for each one of those
Okay.
boards, but still, I think I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if the pins were on the. I don't know if the pins were on our side or on the side of on the side of the telescope. It's on the instrument side. So
In any event,
I
you
can't
don't
remember.
Yeah, in any
Hey,
event, you're not
in
gonna
any
like
event,
run
you don't
down to
wanna
Ace
bend it.
Hardware and grab another copy.
Yeah.
of it
I
and
think
go back
bending
up
a
the
pin.
Hubble. Right
we
quick.
also had things we could do if you bent a pin, because there's lots of things we had that had pins.
Yeah.
If there was a bent pin, or if you took off a connector and had a bent pin, you could try to straighten it out. But that wouldn't be really a good thing to do. So you
Nominal.
wanted to be really careful, and you want to make sure you seated it
Yeah.
correctly.
So there was the one thing I got to ask you about this. There's the one thing where you had something that got stuck, and you had to apply a little elbow grease to it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like not planned. Like,
Right.
can you tell us about what
Yeah,
was
we
that?
was a handrail that needed to come out of the way so I could get to this electronics board cover and get to all these little screws I needed to come out. And
Right.
so the handrail had two screws on the top and 2 screws on the bottom, and they were pretty big. They weren't these little screws. We were using a big power tool for
Right,
it.
right.
We weren't concerned, but
Because it was a handrail
It was a
instead of like a
handrail.
delicate component.
Right, it was a big
gotcha.
thing. It wasn't an issue. So we didn't think it would be an issue. We were worried. We thought about everything else except that, because it would never give us any trouble. We
Yeah.
didn't think it would. But out of the 4 screws, 3 of them came out fine, but one ended up being I stripped it when I was trying to get it out,
Yeah.
and it wasn't going to come out. And so they came up with the idea. A bunch of really smart guys, Jim Corbo and Jeff Roden and James Parker. These guys came up with James Cooper. James Parker was a professor of mine at Columbia. James Cooper. Got to get those names right because they're very important people in my life. And their teams around them. It wasn't just them, but their teams around them. They got together this plan while we were spacewalking, and it was a Sunday, and they worked. Jim Corbo was in Houston, and he called those guys up, and they discussed what they might be able to do. And they were running around the Goddard Space Flight Center, get tools together to test this on a Sunday,
Jeez.
seeing who was around. And they came up with the idea, and they determined it would take 60 pounds of force just to pull the thing off.
To pull it off, just to break the screw or
Right,
whatever,
just
right?
to just snap it off. And by the time they did all this troubleshooting and all this testing and the plan got approved, it was quite a while. It was about over an hour that it took for that. I mean, and that may not seem like a lot of
Were you
time,
still
but that is a lot of
outside?
time. Yeah,
Were
we
you
were
on
outside
EVA?
spacewalking, yeah. So, the problem happened while I was spacewalking, and we needed to solve it quickly, because if you delay too much, you need to have enough time to do the repair. And,
Right.
And so if you start delaying by a lot, then you're never going to get, even if you get the thing fixed, you don't have enough time to finish, and you don't want to start something you can't finish, so they would have had to call it off. So, but that handrail is here. You can see it here.
It's actually here?
Yeah.
And you
it's part of the
pulled it
exhibit.
off.
I ripped the thing off, and then and now it's in the museum here.
I remember watching that live on. My biggest concern was.
You were the guy.
Yeah, I was that one guy on NASA TV. No,
All right.
but I remember the big thing that a lot of us were worried about was the sharpness of that metal. Because had you know it was going to shear off clean and not rip the space, was that a concern? And how did you?
Oh
account
yeah,
for
no,
that?
that's a big concern, and it's also doing anything to scramble debris that might either come out and get me or Mike Bueno, my spacewalking buddy, was right next to me, so we didn't want something to come out and get us. We were working together on this thing, and And we also didn't want any debris to go in the telescope. I thought
Yeah,
we
no
would be
kidding.
okay.
Yeah.
But I was afraid of like little shards or something going up there. If it's a sharp edge, we were just going to stay away from it.
Yeah.
But what we did was we taped it. We had tape available to us.
To kind of like capture
Kapton taped it, and we taped the bottom of it. And
wow.
Mike and I used our scouting skills to do that. And,
Nice.
And we taped it up, and in this way, anything that came off was captured. And you could, I don't know if they show it here, but there's some, I've got some of the images of the tape that we put it in a disposal bag, which is a fancy name for garbage bag.
A garbage bag.
After,
it's probably got an acronym, right? It's like
no, it was the disposal bag, and it was a special one for that handrail. And so they study everything when they get back, and the tape, I've seen photos of the tape, and there was a lot of metal, little
kind of
pieces
caught
of metal
in there.
caught
That's
in
a good
there,
idea.
So it worked, yeah.
It's like you make do with the tools you got on hand.
That's right.
You
That's
plan
what
as much as you can.
Right,
But
and I didn't even know there was tape available to us.
oh, yeah?
I had no idea. They had to tell me where it was. It was in like a spare toolbox on the shuttle.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know where.
Okay,
I mean, I
go to
can't.
the toolbox
actually, I knew
32A
we had tape. I didn't know where it was. There was no plan to ever use it.
Yeah.
I mean, you see a lot of things before you fly, and I knew the tape was there, and I knew it didn't work all that great neither. But because it's it's hard to tape things in space.
Yeah.
But it worked fine that day.
Yeah.
Gosh, so you got it done. You finished the repair mission.
Mm-hmm.
You went up there twice, right? Was that the first or the second mission?
That was the second mission
That was the second
we were
mission.
talking about, yeah.
And there were other missions that went up there and repaired it as well, right?
Yeah, there was
quite a few.
total of
Five
missions.
servicing missions, right? And
Gosh.
and another mission that launched it. So in total, six missions, including the one that launched it, and then 5 repair missions.
Yeah, 5 repair missions, and
sort
it's
of thing.
repair and upgrade missions too, because they installed some better components of it.
Right, they were repair. Yeah, they really weren't. Yeah, see, it depends how you look at it. They really
Yeah.
kind of what we say servicing. So
yeah, servicing.
some of it
missions,
is some of it is repairing stuff that's worn out.
Yeah.
But even the stuff that was worn out when we put the new units in, it was better.
It was
better stuff, better
'cause-
technology.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the
You
amazing thing is, you were
No, no.
taking things out that were never meant to be taken out of these telescopes either,
Right, for those 2 repairs, yeah. So normally we would do, as you pointed out, sorry, is we would remove a whole instrument and replace it with a whole new one.
Yeah.
In this case, there was 2 instruments: the Advanced Camera for Surveys and the Space Telescope Imaging Spectrograph, which were very large instruments. They're about the size of a refrigerator, standard refrigerator.
Really?
Yeah, big. They're big.
Jeez.
So normally you'd remove the whole thing and put a whole new one in, but we didn't have replacements for these, and these were really important, expensive instruments. But they stopped working. In both cases, it was a short in a power supply, so we just needed to replace the power supply.
Okay.
All the optics and everything else was working fine. The
We can
detectors
relate to
and
that,
everything
yeah.
was fine. So the power supply had to be replaced, which looked like a computer board.
Gotcha.
In each case. So that was what was never planned. But the other stuff, removing the whole instrument, putting it back in, that was planned, and even those came with its own challenges. Even though they were planned and done before and so on, you still everything always posed a challenge to you, and things happen that you didn't expect. And
Yeah.
you had to deal with
It's
it.
like the thing you train for the way things are supposed to go, and you train for what you're supposed to do when things go wrong. But there's always going to be an element of we're going to have to figure some stuff out in the field.
You can't think of
it's
everything.
not like a robotic sort of
No.
thing, right? You're not going to
You
send a
can't
robot
think-
up there to do
You
this
can't think
stuff.
of everything, and you don't worry so much about the stuff you thought about. It's
Yeah,
the stuff that you don't
exactly.
know that's out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That's you're gonna discover that day, and if it's gonna be something that you can recover from or not. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So do you have any, we're talking a lot about the Hubble missions. Do you have anything else? We've got a lot of younger people watching right now. We've got people that are interested in space and science. We play video games. We're still looking at the ISS here, guys. But do you have anything, like any advice for people that are interested? It may be, maybe they want to be an astronaut. Maybe they want to be an aerospace engineer. What do you think about that?
Well, I think whatever they want to be, they should try to do it.
Yeah.
And not be discouraged when things don't go well. I mean, it's I'm talking about these things that happen, but the path to become an astronaut, and even after being an astronaut, is not, it's not easy.
It's not a
and there's
cakewalk.
there's a lot of setbacks and failure and things happening, and I think sometimes the tendency is to think, well, I can't do this because I failed this test or something,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I can't be whatever the heck it is, or no matter whatever your aspiration is, and I don't think that matters as much. I think that really what matters is what you want to do, and everyone has setbacks. You can't let it stop you. You got to keep
absolutely.
going. So I think no matter what they're interested in doing, they should just hang in there.
That's an important thing. Like, that's just a good lesson to learn. Like, just because something goes wrong once or twice, we do everything we can to keep it from going wrong. Like, we prepare, we study, whatever it is, but things may still go wrong. And that doesn't mean you give up.
Things
just
will
because,
go wrong.
Yeah, things will go
You
wrong.
don't have to worry about the may.
Yeah,
It will go wrong, right?
It's
Yeah.
just, when that happens, don't
Yeah.
give up on it. You keep on sticking
hang
to
in
it,
there,
you know?
Right, unless it's total death and destruction, keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just keep on keeping
Yeah.
on sort of deal.
Yep.
So, Sawyer,
Yeah.
do you have any questions?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, people don't realize this probably just seeing it in the stream, but you are a very tall person.
I am a tall
He's a
person.
very tall
Yes,
person,
That's
yeah.
right.
So, how big is Hubble, and how was it like a tight squeeze to get inside the telescope
Yeah,
to
so
fix some of
inside
these
the
things?
telescope
Wait, you
is
went
pretty low.
inside?
Yes, you have to. So in some of the stuff you can remove from the outside without going in there, but for the work we did, we had to get inside to replace the gyros and to do this repair.
ah,
So being a taller person, Sawyer, is actually an advantage when you're
Really?
spacewalking because you can reach.
just have
stuff.
more reach, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like working around your kitchen. It's and you can float, but you want to be stable and in a foot restraint, or somehow stable and steady when you're working. And so that means you can reach everything with your arms and hands, and in one particular occasion without having to reconfigure so like being able to replace the gyroscopes inside the telescope. I was able to use I have long arms, so I was able to unhook them and do all that work easier than a person with shorter arms would have.
It's almost like you have a
However-
bigger work area because you
Right,
can stay
you can
stable.
reach
You can
stuff.
stay connected, I guess.
Right, but the other thing is like getting jammed inside of there is not so easy, and then kind of big. We had to be really careful. I didn't break anything on the way in. So Mike Good, my spacewalking buddy, and I practiced a lot in the pool. We talked about it. We practiced in the pool, and a lot of our training was just for he and I, with the help of our instructors and crewmates, to figure out how the heck he was going to get me inside there to be able to do that. And so you had to be really careful because you can't really bang things around in there.
You're not just elbowing your way
no,
in
you
like
can't. There's a lot of fragile
bull
stuff.
in a
and
china shop
we
sort of
had
deal.
we had a very distinct technique on how to get me in and out of there.
I got you. I think we might have
Yeah,
popped
if
your
you
mic
just
down a
move
little
your mic
bit. Yeah,
just a
move your
little
mic
bit
up just a
closer
little
to
bit.
your
mouth.
There we go.
Awesome.
Okay.
There were 2 astronauts on the EVA.
Yeah, you always have two.
And are there like 2
Sometimes
different
they've
jobs?
had 3,
or-
but generally it's 2.
Okay. Is there like one that like moves around and one that's like fixed
Yeah,
in a position? or how
and
does
normally it depends on the spacewalk, but for us, we almost always had one person on the robot arm.
Okay.
So you're on a foot restraint on the robot arm, and so when you get moved around by the robot arm operator, and on my second flight it was my first flight was Nancy Curry primarily, and on my second flight it was Megan MacArthur, and then Scott Altman, our commander, relieved them from time to time doing that. But they would move you around on the robot arm, put you in position.
So the astronaut that's kind of they've got their feet clamped onto the end of the arm.
Yeah,
or
they're
something?
called the RMS spacewalker, more or less.
Okay.
The spacewalker on the RMS. So there's a foot restraint that you can install at the end.
Right.
It also has like a work platform on it, what we call a stanchion, that allows you to have a bunch of tools nearby, which is good. And that whole thing gets moved around very precisely by the robot arm operator.
So it's not like the astronaut, like you're on a high lift or something. You've got a little joystick moving.
No,
yourself
you don't
around.
control
Somebody
yourself.
Else
You have
is moving you.
Yeah, you have
Really?
the astronaut, and you can tell. So you sometimes, after you through your training, what happens is the arm operator knows exactly where you need to go,
Exactly.
almost better than you do.
It's like a ballet almost.
So
They
you
go
just
here
they
at this
know
time and then at this time
exactly
and
where
that.
to go. They've been watching you. They know what they need to do to put you where. So after a while, you just say. At first, you start out like, give me 4 inches here, a foot and a half there, or whatever.
Right.
And that's usually incorrect. They're better off. They can actually know once they know what you're trying to do, they can put you in position.
It's almost like they're flying you in third person. They can kind of see where you are and they
yeah,
can see
and
that. They have like more of an overview.
And they're really dedicated to what they're doing, and their job is to put you where you need to go. So that's one. Usually, I have one person there, and the advantage to that is that you can handle big objects. So you can pick up a big instrument, a big piece of equipment, and move around with it. When the other astronaut out there is the free floater, which means that he or she is getting around using their hands. They're not on a platform of the RMS.
Like crawling
They're moving around,
but you're tethered
using your hand. You always have a safety tether on, and if
yeah.
you're going to be stationary for a while, you tether yourself locally. so you don't float away from the work site.
Gotcha. So it's not
but
like
you're
pulling
using
a
your
George
hands.
Clooney like flying all over the place.
Nah,
like
you
the
don't do
movies
any
you
of that.
must see.
No,
That's not a
no, we
thing.
don't. No, that looked
Yeah.
pretty cool, but
It did
no,
look cool.
Yeah.
can't do that. No,
You
we
were
don't have
jetting
that.
around the Hubble while
We
you were
don't have that thing anymore.
Yeah.
It's the man maneuvering unit. He was zipping around, and
Yeah.
no, they didn't
Doing
didn't
loop-de-loops
use
and
that
stuff.
for a long time.
I gotcha.
Yeah, no cowboy stuff.
No
out there.
cowboy
No.
stuff. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's an expensive instrument. We want to get it fixed.
Yeah, but it was cool in the movie though. I
Yeah.
liked seeing him do it in the movie.
That's how we actually move. I'll show you something else in the game. That's how we actually move around in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me hop back over this way.
And while you're pulling that up, I'll just ask you really
Yeah, go.
So there were 5 spacewalks pretty much on those missions, right?
There were,
And
both my missions. Yeah.
So you only did.
I did
you didn't
2.
do all 5, right?
Yeah.
So what were you doing for the other spacewalks? What were you doing?
So you're inside helping the other guys, is what it is. So when you have there's 4 spacewalkers on a mission, 2 teams, 2 and 2, and when the two of the astronauts are outside, the other 2 are inside helping. So they're called the IV, the intervehicular astronaut. And what we do inside is we keep track of everything and we read them the checklist. And so it really is, it's really a team effort. It's also the guys in the ground, too. Who is that dude in the spacesuit there?
That's one of.
Who is
I
that?
actually don't know this name here. This is.
So that's what you're doing. You're inside. So
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
helping the other guys.
This is just one of our Kerbal nuts. One of the things we do is we
All
pull
right.
people out of chat and we let them fly around. But
Okay.
This is how we move around. They've got
That's
their
cool.
own little kind of maneuvering
Yeah.
unit, and it's got little RCS sources. But you've got to learn like how to translate yourself around.
Yeah.
And one of the important things in the game is not get going like 40 meters per second while
Oh,
you're
you don't
flying.
get too
around
fast,
outside.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Yeah.
But you can come around. You've got
Can't
like a
come
light
home.
gear, so you can turn on your light and it'll actually point the lights different places. There's the cupola
That's
on
cool.
the station.
All right, that's
but we
nice.
don't have safety tethers in the game. It's kind of a thing that has been noticed is that the Kerbals never get tethered to anything.
Yeah.
So we don't. Oops, let me not run into what is that? That's Kibo, and that's the open, not open air laboratory, the exposed facility. Thank you.
Yeah.
With a couple of little science experiments on it.
Yeah.
But this is how we fly around in Kerbal Space Program using our little jetpacks. But this is not like we do it in real life. We tether ourselves in. We make sure that it's safe. We don't do any cowboy sort of like stunts like this, right? Because we can break the solar panels off.
You don't hit your head on the solar
I don't
panels
want to
too,
break
yeah.
my solar panels off my space station. This would be a bad thing.
That's right.
But we've even got the whole thing like over on our space station. We've got the Quest joint airlock over here, and this is where they would normally come out of the space station. I just hopped out the side of the Soyuz. Don't tell
Okay.
anybody.
All right.
It's, nothing kept me from doing that. But we would normally come out of the what is it, the Nadir side of the Joint Quest airlock. On here, it's called the Joint Questionable Airlock.
Yes.
Because it doesn't
Okay.
work exactly right sometimes. But no, I just wanted to compare and contrast sort of things. Whoa, that wasn't us. Sort of the way things go in real life, where we're very safe and we tether in. And
Yeah,
we make sure
you're
we're not
really. It's
kicking
kind
off
of
and-
slow and.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of like watching grass grow when you're watching a spacewalk.
But
'Cause
you don't want
wanna
to go
really slow.
hurtling off into space. with
No,
nobody
is
to
then
catch you.
yeah, no, that's not a good idea. So on the space, you always have a safety tether on. You always want to be stable and close to your work site. So what we have usually, even if you're a free floater,
Right.
is you have a local tether attached at your work site. So in case you let go, you're not going to go more than a couple feet away.
gotcha.
You can get back. But when you're moving around, even you always have a safety tether attached. If you're on the robot arm, you have a safety tether attached to the robot arm, which means even if you were to get out away from wherever it is you are, you have this reel attached to you that's going to bring you back. On
Do
the
you
shuttle.
pull yourself in, or does it?
No,
reel you
generally
in?
the reel, you don't want to test it like that, but
Right.
but theoretically, if that happened to you and you came off, and if you just kind of did nothing, the reel has enough tension to wind you back.
Really?
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's there's no gravity, there's nothing working on you.
Yeah.
So my plan was if I got a little far away from something and I couldn't reach anything, I would just wait and
chill
the
out.
safety tether would draw me back in.
Interesting.
If you go and do something a little more violent, you might need to do something else, but.
My Kerbal's gonna
But
go
that's not good. Yeah.
we try not to run into the solar array.
on the space on the shuttle, if our safety tether failed, which no reason it ever would,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
for
yeah.
some reason if it did, and you started flying away, or floating away, like really floating away without a tether, then the shuttle commander would come. We practiced this, and they practiced it in a simulator. It's called an EVA crew rescue. They would come
Does
get
the whole
you.
shuttle fly to come get you?
Yeah, because you could fly the shuttle around, but that you can't fly around
Yeah,
the station
yeah.
like that. So they have a little jetpack. We didn't have it on Hubble.
Okay.
They have a little jetpack called SAFER, which stands for safety, something
Something,
rescue for
acronym,
EVA or
yeah.
EVA rescue or something. But so it's a little kind of backpack thing they're wearing
Okay.
that allows them to get back to structure on the station.
That's
Safer,
on.
is it called Safer? Or something
Safer,
like that?
SAFER.
Something like
Yeah.
that. That's on the astronauts that are on EVA.
Correct.
They each wear that just as
Yeah.
like an emergency backup.
It's
sort of thing.
something for EVA rescue is the last part of it. I can't remember the essays in.
Gotcha.
So anyway,
Who knows with
go
all
look
the
it up.
acronyms? I don't know.
We can see it means something. It's probably not that difficult. I'm drawing a blank.
Did you
Yeah.
have any time to like admire the view?
Yeah, absolutely, you do,
Like-
and not as much as you'd like, but there never could be
Yeah.
enough time. But yeah, it's just magnificent to look around at it. The planet's beautiful. It's beyond words, really. It's
This is
just
kinda-
magnificent.
This is kind of what we get, right? And
pretty
even
good right
we're,
there,
We're
yeah.
in like a game.
That's beautiful. You
And
got
we're
some different
inspired.
colors.
It's like, man, the
Yeah.
sun goes. We get sunrises and sunsets, and it's all in the computer
Yeah.
game.
Your
You
water
can
looks a
even
little
see.
deep, a little
Yeah.
darker.
Yeah.
We got some mountains sticking up out of the clouds.
Yeah, I
That's
know,
a
necessarily,
little
yeah.
problem, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can even see the reflection of everything in her visor,
That's
right?
pretty cool.
So you can see the space station, you
Yeah.
can see the planet, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
This was a big deal to us. Just recently, we have female Kerbal knots. Kerbal
All right.
knots. It used to just be there were just Kerbals,
Just
and now we
dudes
have
flying around?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Now
Yeah.
we've actually got female. She's a little
Okay.
ponytail and stuff, but that was important for kids
All right.
as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
But
So just
man,
a reminder, we do have a space shuttle behind us.
we do.
So
Right there.
the space shuttle.
Did y'all see it?
The
Yeah.
space shuttle, obviously now it's retired, 30 years, amazing service. You got to fly in it twice.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts reflecting back on the shuttle program?
I think the shuttle is, if you look at, well, one thing you could do is you look at this shuttle, and then in front of it, hey, Ellen, and if you look in front of it, we've got a Soyuz,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So there's a big difference between those two. The Soyuz is little,
Yeah, no kidding.
and the shuttle's really big, right? So I don't think we're going to have anything like this shuttle for a long time. We're going back now,
Yeah.
even with Orion and these other spaceships, more like the capsule sort of.
Capsule
or-
design,
yeah, I know
yeah.
they call them capsules. That's not a good thing to call them, just because. So we call them smaller spaceships that are blunt bodies, which can take the heat and occur, and much better. They don't land on a runway necessarily.
Yeah.
Like they don't land like an airplane anyway, like
Right,
the
right.
shuttle does. But because of all those things the shuttle did, and it's it did everything. It took cargo, it took crew, it returned a lot of stuff, it landed on a runway. Because of all these things, it was really expensive to fly.
Yeah.
More so than they ever thought it was going to be.
Yeah, no kidding.
And it was a bit dangerous.
We learned though.
So-
we thought it was going to be one way, and we learned the realities of operating something like this.
Yeah, and then
You know?
and then we started losing them. We had 2 major accidents.
Right.
And we would keep having them if we kept flying the shuttle. So I think it was a magnificent vehicle. I think it's the coolest spaceship we've
No
ever
kidding.
had.
No kidding.
I think it'll probably be the coolest one we have for a very long time.
Yeah.
But its time the time to retire it had come, and I look forward to the
complicated
new
piece of
stuff we're going to be
machinery.
flying. My friends are going to be. They just announced a couple of my friends are going to be what they call commercial crew astronauts,
Right.
working with SpaceX and Boeing on their new vehicles.
Yeah.
And years after that, we'll probably have an Orion spacecraft coming. And
Yep.
so I think right now we missed the shuttle, but I think we're going to get some new stuff coming up here. It'll be pretty
It was
cool.
an
Yeah.
inspiring thing. It's an inspiring thing to lose, but we're going to have more things in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I was going to load up. We do all the things as well. So we've got an Orion mission that we run in our game. We've got Falcon. We can actually do a boost back. We can do a landing of the first stage on the Falcon
Oh,
using
cool.
the game. So all those things, just whatever it is in spaceflight, spectrum technology, we love to go over it in the game so that we
Right.
can review it with our viewers and show what's going on. I was just
Yeah.
going to load up. We've got a little bit of a Falcon 9 thing there. This is an unmanned one, just like it is in real life. It's got the open air trunk. I keep
Okay.
saying open air. There's no
It
air
crashed.
up there. Oh, look at that. The game crashed.
But
well, that's
I was
okay.
talking
We're in
with
full version
yeah,
anyways.
'cause I was talking with Sonny about that a few weeks ago. Sonny Williams, one of the 4 was selected. It's exciting. Would you, if given the chance, go up in one of the commercial vehicles?
There you go.
Given the opportunity, sure, yeah, but they're not asking me anymore. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not at NASA any
Well,
longer,
but
so,
you've got,
but yeah.
You've got a great gig here at the Intrepid. You're also
Yeah.
a professor at Columbia, right?
Yep.
What do you teach there?
I'm in the mechanical engineering department there, and I help with a little research. I do some outreach for the school. I work with students as much as possible. I teach a
Right.
class on space flight, and I also help with a class for all the new first-year freshman engineers every year. I get to work a little bit with them in their Art of Engineering, Introduction Engineering class. So
Cool.
Very nice.
yeah.
I wish I could take a class with you. That's for sure.
You're welcome anytime.
Can we just like
Sawyer.
come up there and
Thank you.
walk in?
You
and like, act like we're
absolutely
supposed to be
can.
there?
You
No.
guys
We
can.
can audit it. I appreciate.
You can come on by. Absolutely.
Can we stream it?
No, I don't even know what that means.
That's
But
always
the
my
answer,
question.
the answer
That's
to
always
you
my
is no.
question. No.
Just by the way you asked
Oh,
it.
man.
Like,
Oh,
geez.
no,
ouch.
because the way you asked it.
Could we
No, I don't even know what the hell
stream
that
it?
means. No, there's no way. Can't. No.
Oh, man.
Answer is no. I don't even know what you're talking about, but the answer is no.
All
Doesn't
right.
sound like a good idea.
We're out of time right now.
All right.
Yeah.
I totally appreciate you
Yes.
spending time with
Sure.
us. Mike,
Thanks for
thank
having
you
me,
so
man.
much.
Good luck.
We appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. Good to
So
see
it's
you
always
again.
a pleasure seeing you,
Always
man.
pleasure to see you,
All right,
Sandy.
buddy.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. Thank you for watching again. Astronaut Mike Massimino, thank you for your time, sir.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
All right, we will take a break, guys. Mute? Do we mute? Bam. So
Bam.
professional. Just go hot. That's fine. All right, let me get this back off the go away
Bam.
screen. We lost the music halfway through. You know something? Get over it, chat, because we were talking to an astronaut.
Yeah, you missed some more amazing
You know something?
conversations, but
You guys, sorry about that. We wanted to go live, and we had very important things to do. The Hubble Haynes repair manual signed by Mike.
And
That's a thing. Chat, you guys can just chill out, all right? Because we had to get a little bit of me time, a little bit of us time.
and him and I are kind of
Kerbal's-
friends,
yeah.
so mine's a little bit even cooler. Mine's the best wishes and friendship.
Oh, gosh. Well, he's not friends with us, I guess.
I'm sorry.
You know
that-
something?
I'm
I'll take it.
I'm sorry that him and I are buds.
I just got best wishes.
No, Mike is a great guy. I've been working with him a bunch on some of the shuttle stuff, and the
Oh,
Hubble
man.
is awesome. In
So-
case you couldn't tell, which if you couldn't, you must have had your stream off.
We really needed a little bit of us time there. Greg got away from us yesterday.
Yeah,
we were
he
still
did,
broadcasting, and we didn't take the break. And so this time I'm like, you know something? We're taking a break when we're done with Mike.
And Mike, now the proud owner of an MLG rocket. science
That's
shirt.
right. That's right. We actually had we had one of the MLG shirts for Mike. He actually asked about it.
Yeah.
When he walked up, Sawyer and EJ I think went to talk to him, and he's like, "Is that an MLG rocket shirt?" And I
He
was
loves
like,
MLB. It's like, you know, it's
No, he's-
MLG.
yeah, he's a
MLG, yeah. So we
baseball
had a
guy.
copy of the shirt to give to him. So maybe at some point we'll see him in one of the MLG rocket shirts, which would be amazing.
Make that happen.
I don't know. Let's see here. Can you make that happen? Yeah.
Yes,
can we
I
get that
can.
one?
I know
All right.
Carolyn Porco.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get that done. Where do
her
we
and
need to
Brian,
go?
Her and Brian Cox, both cool guys. But yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's another streamer.
So guys,
Right now we have a space shuttle still. We're
We-
on the Intrepid, Sea, Air, and Space Museum in New York City.
we have about 5 + 2 minutes to stream here. I don't even know what we're gonna do in that time. I don't even
Shuttle
think we're
launch.
gonna. You want me to do a shuttle launch?
Let's see
Do
what
it
we
again.
can.
Just keep launching the shuttle, sort of deal.
Boom.
That was fantastic, guys. Having Mike on the stream, seriously, on the broadcast. Having Mike on the broadcast as opposed to the stream.
I don't know what that is.
I don't even know what that is. Man, that's okay. We all know what it is now. We know what it is.
You know,
5 + 2
Yes,
minutes.
I'm not the
You-
only one who just,
You
yeah.
can tell he's an engineer because you said something. You said, "Yep, don't know what that is."
Yeah, I don't know what that
Yeah.
is.
I have no clue what you're
Whatever.
talking
I
about.
should have done an acronym. Like,
Yeah.
maybe if I had tossed an acronym in it, it would have been better. Let's do what is just another shuttle launch.
Just another shuttle.
Well,
Just
we haven't
another
had one that
shuttle
works
launch.
yet. Is the problem?
Can I?
Maybe you want to fly
Give 'em
it?
the
Can I
controls.
get
Do
a
you wanna
shot?
drive
Is
it?
Yeah.
As long
there you
as
go,
as
Multi.
long as I have time to throttle down my SRBs and try it that way.
Oh.
Okay. Are you?
Oh yeah, and guys,
the video of
the
the
video.
handle.
Yeah, I saw people posting that in chat. I did not bring that in. On The Big Bang Theory, he will wear your shirt.
Yes, I loved seeing in chat some people like, oh, that's the guy from Hubble, and some going, oh, that's the guy from Big Bang Theory. You could tell the different people in your chat. They're all awesome.
Do we know anybody that could have him wear that shirt on The Big Bang Theory? Like, does
I-
he get to choose his wardrobe?
I can tell you I can get you hooked up with any NASA person. CBS, not so much.
All right.
We'll let the shuttle master have his way. And I didn't change anything. I don't think I saved anything or whatever.
No.
But again, guys, we were working on our shuttle. What did we miss? Oh, yeah, the full screen cam. Well, he's got the mouse. I can't do it.
Well, hey,
Take the mouse from him.
I'm the pilot. All right, come
yeah,
on.
Here, wait.
Everybody has to do everything else.
There you
Oh.
go. All right. No, we've only got one mouse. We're like
me.
passing the mouse back
Excuse
and forth.
me.
You know
right.
something? It doesn't
This
matter.
is
There's
a
space
team
shuttle behind
effort.
us.
Yeah, and I'm doing the flying. All right, let's go.
Wait, what? Sawyer Kerman.
All right,
Nice.
I like that.
All right, so
Oh man.
let's see.
Come on, Igor, you got to be more positive about that. It's going to fly.
Yeah,
Whether it's
we've-
going to fly correctly is another story.
Could
All right.
any of you stand and let us see the full shirt? Sure. I don't mind standing
I'm not
up.
going to do it. You do it.
Yeah. So there's the shirt, the full shirt right there. It's got that, and on the back it says Major League Rocket Science.
All
sort
right.
of deal. Yeah.
All right, ready? Are we ready to do
Is it
this?
just me or is EJ wearing Das's hat? EJ. No, EJ has
Well,
his
it
own
says
hat.
EJ on the back.
Yeah, it says
so-
his says EJ on the back. There you go. see?
There. Oh,
That one
hat's
says
backwards.
EJ.
It's about to get serious
It's
here.
getting serious shuttle
Makes me
business.
more aerodynamic.
Unlike KSP. So anyways,
All right, here we go.
let's see what we've got
no
here.
countdown
EJ's
music,
I'm just watching this time. Let's see what we can do here.
Main engine
There's
start.
Two,
the boy. Yeah.
one. Booster ignition and liftoff.
There we go, the
Liftoff of
cinematic mode
Enterprise,
again.
And it has cleared the tower.
What tower?
It is clear the line
EJ,
tower.
it's the EJ rally cap. It's the shuttle rally
It's
cap.
shuttle rally cap.
You
There
turn them
you
inside
go.
out.
Well, you know, we need it today. You know.
Quiet
Man.
Mihai.
What did Mihai say? Mihai, are you causing
Igor,
problems?
Igor.
You should say Igor. You got the RCS system on there.
Yeah,
You're doing the roll.
can't hurt.
Maybe hit it well. F12 would
program
just
initiated.
be like a sad.
I don't want to be.
I don't
upset.
even want to see the aerodynamics being shenanigan-y.
Look at that. Not a bad roll.
That was actually really nice.
Roll program complete.
Roger,
Uh-huh.
roll. I'm starting to lose it though. I'm gonna throttle up.
Roger, go throttle up.
But you want to tilt it. Well, you're only at 1,300 meters. You don't. That's not the time yet.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if we're accelerating too quickly.
Yeah, like I said, I think with
hit
both of our,
backslash for me. Sorry, can you grab it for Kerbal Engineer? So the pilot. Yeah, there you go. Because what are we doing? We're doing half a Mach right now, 1.85 thrust to weight.
Yeah, the arrow's starting to take it.
Then
but
the arrow gets it.
I think with both of our designs, I think we just need to throttle back the solids.
If we just eke our way out of the atmosphere, well,
Whoa. Okay, yeah. Now
Look at
we're
it,
getting
look at it.
there it goes. Yeah, and look at the arrow. Press F12.
I don't want to.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Flip program initiated.
All the wacky body arrow that pushes it over like that.
Might be able to flip the thing around.
Just maybe do a complete
Here, go
flip,
flip
for
program.
style.
Yeah.
We've done half a flip. We've done 180 degrees of our flip program.
We're falling though. We're falling. Ruh-roh.
Flip program complete.
All right, for
Not
fashion. It's just. Who's that?
We have burnout
oh,
on
your
partial
engines are
SRBs.
burning out.
It's
Oh,
the
maybe that's
trail
going to
off.
help you get control there.
Yeah.
We have trail out on partial SRB.
So if we could take a little fuel out of one of the first ones to go, that'll keep that flip from happening.
It even might be so much as just limiting thrust, dude. Not so much fuel. If we get the boosters for burn for a longer duration, it should be more efficient. I mean, once again, the
We'll go
arrow's starting
slower
to-
out of the arrow
Yeah,
into the
exactly.
atmosphere as
yeah.
well.
So
You're not
now-
doing this on purpose though, are you?
Shuttle now
No,
rolling up
it's-
to a side up position.
Yeah.
It's not acting how I want it.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way. But I did.
It's going to fly back through its own smoke.
I did get to work with
flame
this with these rocket boosters a little bit, and I think on my stream I'm gonna keep tweaking this design.
Yeah?
I think using the solids is fun, and I do like the challenge of using them.
Yeah.
Because these solids trail off over time. It is a little bit cheaty in terms of the design because there's 18 of them clipped
Right,
in.
but we don't have engines.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, we don't have gimbals at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
No, I know. Yeah, I know what you're getting at.
Dorsal. Half an SRB flame out. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on. They're like tuned to flame out at different times.
Yeah, exactly, and then it's semi-realistic because, and I say semi because NASA wouldn't clip 18 boosters into it.
Well, they wouldn't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean,
They would design a booster that worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened. You know, I mean, and I can simulate a big 2.5 meter booster by doing stuff like that, like by clipping all these boosters and simulating the trail off, which is what the solid rocket boosters on the shuttle actually do.
They actually do trail
change-
off.
Yeah,
Yes.
they change in thrust over time as it
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
higher
yeah.
up in the vacuum.
Exactly.
Up into the vacuum in space, the SRBs actually lose a lot of power.
Yeah.
They have the most amount of power at liftoff because to get through the atmosphere. I mean, and you
Gotcha.
can see it. You can see it right now. It's actually flying pretty well.
It is flying pretty well.
Very, yeah.
It once. I mean, even at 6,400 meters, it's still flying in terms of COM COT. It's
I
still
almost
flying
think
well.
that it's a matter of like putting the right amount of fuel in each one of those boosters so they cut off at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, once again, that's something
And thrust
I've
limiting.
never done something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this, so it's something you just got to tweak over time. But
Yeah.
it's definitely doable. I think the concept is there.
Yeah.
Because we're coming up on final step. So.
And we're climbing here. Yeah, we're still down in the
Yeah.
thick atmosphere, so we're just kind of testing the dynamics here. But here we'll have more aerodynamic force than we normally would at the higher
Exactly.
altitude.
If anything, it's going to help us.
Yeah.
And
So
there's
now
flame out.
those.
Uh-oh.
Oh no! Oh, that's important. It's a bobsled. Ouch.
All right, so
Whee!
redundancy. Ready?
I'll do like EJ was doing yesterday.
Yeah,
the fail fish.
no.
Yes, this is why we install parachutes on our shuttle
Yeah,
cockpits.
thankfully we don't have to go. Oh no, because now we do have
What
to
are we
shoot,
doing?
so it's a
Yeah.
lot more relief. But
So, I mean, in the interest of time, I'm just going to
Yeah.
revert. If we can...
yeah, so we got 5 minutes.
I think we're going to need to be shutting it down here, guys. The other guys are getting set up for their show.
Yeah.
The Space Panorama, the guy who does the recreation of the Apollo missions
Which
using
is-
his like
with
lights
his
and
hands,
pantomime and
it's
stuff. Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Do you have one of your cards? Can I
yeah,
show?
can we show this on stream? Because it's
yeah.
amazing what you do.
Do you mind
yeah.
if we show this? No.
Yeah.
So he actually like recreates. Let me go full screen. I just grabbed for a mouse that didn't exist.
Here you go, buddy.
Here we go. Look, full screen. Bam. So he actually does like recreations. Can we get that? Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
He does like a show that's like a recreation of the Apollo missions using like light and sound and like hand.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go.
like that,
He's
exactly.
doing
Right
it.
here. Why don't we need this card? We've got the actual guy. It's really cool
It's
though.
amazing.
So
It's an awesome show.
we're going to be shutting down. This is another one of the events going on here at the Intrepid Sierra and Space Museum as part of their Space and Science Festival. This is the last day for it. So if you're in New York City, if you can get out here, you got about 6 more hours for the Space and Science Festival to go. We're going to go off for about an hour, maybe an hour and a
I
half
think we
here.
have a little
Something
bit of
like
time,
that, yeah. We're going to have to see what the timing is. We're
Maybe
gonna
closer to 2 hours.
It may be
but-
closer to 2 hours. You're probably right. We will be back, guys, shortly. Of course, we've got the Illuminatis in there.
Yeah.
We will be back. Watch us on Twitter. Maybe we can fire up a Periscope. My phone's charged. So maybe we can fire up a Periscope. If we can, we'll put that in chat. But thank you so much for hanging out with
Thanks,
us.
guys.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Totally appreciate it. We're gonna keep working on the shuttle. You know something? I don't think we're gonna leave the museum until our shuttle works.
That's a
We
deal.
will not leave.
That's
Wait,
more.
Triforce. Wait, ready?
Wait, the Triforce.
Boom. Someone
There's gonna be like a
screenshot that.
rainbow that flies out of there. or
Someone
something.
screenshot and tweet that at Das Valdez.
We're gonna have to do that again.
At K-Space Program, at the Nestman,
At K-Space Academy,
EJ_SA.
yep, at the Nestman, at EJ_SA. Folks,
Someone screenshot that.
thank you for hanging out with us. We're having a blast. I don't know if you guys can tell, but we're totally having a blast.
This
Yeah,
this
oh,
is fun.
so cool. Mike Massimino.
Yeah, I know.
Seriously.
He's
All
geeking
right,
out over
we'll
the
go ahead
bubble
and do the
manual. It's
fade out
ridiculous.
here, and we will catch you nerds in a bit. Thank you again for
Thanks,
watching.
guys.
See you, everyone.
Indeed.